Hello there again everyone, me again with another envelope journal. This time I'm using the very large envelopes. So for us in the UK we have A4 paper, so these envelopes are made to fit a sheet of A4 paper in. So up to the edge of the flap here, this is approximately 12 3/4 inches long, and the width of it is approximately 9 inches. So as I say, we can easily fit a sheet of A4 paper inside of these envelopes, okay? And it's got these flaps on the end. So you're going to need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we've got 4 of these envelopes. So we're going to deal with 2 of them to start with. So I'm going to put 2 of them to the side. And we want them, so this isn't going to completely fit in view for you, but I'll put the important bit in the middle, hopefully. So we're going to stick that edge to this side and this flap to this side, okay? So they're going to meet at the crease of the flap, right? So get my fingers under, there's the flap there. So they're going to overlap each other, all right? Now these have got a paper tape on, so I just need to pull that off because we don't want that in place, and I'm not going to rely on the stickiness of that glue. I am actually going to put glue on. Okay. So, glue all over the flap, right up to the edge of that crease mark. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Glue up to that crease mark. And we're going to sit one on top of the other so that those crease marks line up. The nice thing that I like about the collal glue is that you've got a little bit of time to manoeuvre the paper before it's completely adhered. Okay, so we've now got one very long envelope. Okay, so we're going to fold this edge into that crease mark and we're going to fold it in half. Now I'm doing it close to the crease mark, not right next to it. Sorry, slightly out of shot there. I'm going to do the same with this one. I'm going to fold it into that middle bit. Making sure it's all nicely lined up. And then I'm going to fold it in half. You might need to watch the video maybe a couple of times or pause it. Just making sure that these edges are lining up. Okay, so we've got open it up, and then we open up that flap, and then we open up that flap, and then we fold it up in half. Okay, so those are the middle 2 envelopes. So bearing in mind that it opens up like this, I'm going to push that off to the side, but keep it that way round, because I'm now going to attach the 3rd envelope, and I'm going to put this flap on top of here where the fold is. All right, so that is going to sit on top of there. So again, I'll take that paper backing off. And put glue on the flap. Flip it over. And then place that flap on top. Just going to make sure it's all nicely lined up. Okay. So now we've got this opens up, that opens up, that opens up, that closes like that. So we've got this big envelope here on the side. So we're going to fold that in close to where that flap is. And then we're going to fold that in. And we've got an opening here. So now I'm going to flip the whole thing over, and we're going to do the same on this side. So this is the fourth envelope. I want the flap that way around because that flap's going to attach to this bit here. Again, I'm just going to take that paper backing off and put some glue on that flap. Flip it over, place that flap on top of. I'm just going to flip it over to make sure it's nice and aligned. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this big envelope in half, close to that flap fold. And then I'm going to fold it in. Flip it over. Okay, and that's it, done. So we've got an opening here. We turn the cover over and that opens out. We turn the next page over and that, honest glue, that opens out. That opens out. Flip it over and that opens out. And that is the basis of this journal. Okay, so I'm going to do it again because at first it boggles your mind. Alright, so this time I've got 4 large square envelopes, which I think were gifted to me a long time ago. In fact, you can tell how long because they're starting to go a little bit yellow where the sticky is. Okay, so I've got 2 envelopes to start with the flaps. Okay, but we want the flaps facing each other, and we want one facing down and one facing up. So we're going to glue those 2 together. So let me just put some glue on these flaps, because again I'm not going to trust the sticky that's on the flap. So that's one done. I'm going to just do the other one. Okay, so one flap is facing down or facing up, and then that's the other flap. So we've turned them over, and then we're going to sit one on top of the other. I'm just going to flip it over so that I can see that they're nicely lined up. Okay, just check out. See, that one's in the wrong place. Just lining them up here and here. Okay, so that's my 2 envelopes now stuck together, and I'm going to fold these outer edges here, fold them into the middle. just finger pressing for now, and then bone folder to define that crease, and then I'm going to fold this one in. As I say, it took me a while to work this one out, because it does boggle your mind a bit, but once you've got it, you've got it. Okay, so that's my two envelopes now folded into the middle, and then I'm going to fold them in half. So I've now got a really long page there. Okay, so that's where it opens, and that's where it's folded. So I'm going to keep it that way around and just put it off to the side. Next envelope. Open up the flap, and this flap is going to stick on top of there. So it'll be turned over that way, and then that will stick on top of there. But I need to put glue on it first. Flip it over. And then put that flap on top of the previous envelope, making sure it's nice and aligned. Okay, and then I can fold this edge into where this fold is here. Finger press and bone folder, and then I can fold that in again, and I've now got an opening pocket here. Turn the whole thing over, and we're going to move it over to that side, and again open up the flap, and this flap is going to sit on top of this one. So if I put glue on it first, if you work through this methodically and do each step, it all comes together. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over, sit that one on top, make sure it's all nice and aligned. And then I'm going to fold this edge in. Yeah, I'd got a sample of this. I did it a long time ago. I've got a sample of it in my in one of my folders, and I couldn't remember how I put it together. It took me ages to work it out. Ooh. And then crease that, and then fold that over on top of the other envelopes. Okay, so now we've got a pocket here. This opens up, this flaps out. Fold over the next one, that flaps open. This flaps open the other way. Fold it over, this flaps open that way, and then when we close the booklet, it's got another pocket here on the back. Okay, so we've now got two different sizes of envelope journals. Now, the reason why I called it Think of the Possibilities is because there's so many different options with this. As we know, let me put that one to the side. As we know, if we open this up, you can cut off the end of the envelope and you can insert a little journal in there, like I've shown you previously on the other envelope journals I've made. You could also, if we open this up again, you could add, no, I'll show you in a minute, you can add some journal pages within this section here and stitch them in place, so that that's like a little booklet of its own accord there. And you could do the same with the next one. Glue seeped through again. Cut off the edge of this envelope here so that you've got a pocket. You could add journal pages to this creased part of the envelope here, and then the same with that one there. Okay, so there's lots of different possibilities. Now I'm going to show you a book, which is this one, and it's called Benningfield's Butterflies, and it's by Gordon Benningfield. Okay, so Benningfield's Butterflies, he's got lots and lots of different books, but I just love this butterfly one. I mean, even just the cover on its own is beautiful. Unfortunately for me, it's a book cover, so I can actually use that image. I have so many books, and it's time to start using them up, so that's what I'm going to do. So I will take off the cover and I'll use those images. The same with the back, look, beautiful image on the back. But if I show you the inside of the book, you will see why I'm going to be using it. There's lots of little pictures to start with. I want to flip through to get to the bigger pictures. There's lots of pencil sketches as well, but they're not particularly clear, aren't the pencil sketches? See, not very clear. But then we get to these beautiful big images. And on the back of each of these images is not another image, which is great, because there's nothing worse than getting a book and it's got a beautiful image on one side and a beautiful image on the other side, because then you're torn as to which one you want to use. But this has got written information about the butterfly there in the image. See, look, really lovely, great big pictures. Isn't that pretty? Just gorgeous. I love that one. Captured that dandelion fairy wishes. Remember, we used to blow those as kids, either to tell the time or to make a fairy wish. So there's lots of different images in there. Torn a page out already. You'll see why in a minute. Gorgeous. And then this is the image that's actually on the front cover, so that if I wanted to use this instead of this cover piece, then I can do. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using in the journal that I'm making, and I'm going to show you that now. I've only started it in terms of I've put the envelopes together. Okay, so let me just there. So basically I ordered some wallpaper samples and they came in these black envelopes. Now I love black, because when you glue an image onto black, and this is a word that I know that Tim Holtz doesn't like, but it does make the colours pop more. So I've just scribbled out my address because you didn't need to know that bit. But the whole envelope is black, and they're really good quality envelopes. So I've done the same, you know, stuck them all together in exactly the same way. And then they've got this pocket here, and there's a pocket on the front. So just to show you, that's one of the book pages that I've ripped out. Now at the moment I've only put, where have they gone? There they are. I've just put some sticky book corners onto the paper, and then I've just slotted that picture in just so as you've got a visual image to see. I'm actually going to do some black stitching quite far in, probably about 3/4 of an inch to an inch, which will then cause it to have a frame. All right, and I'm not doing too much to it because I think that in itself is just beautiful as it is. Now, one of the things that I've done is this is not the envelope. This is a piece of card that I've added to make the front cover. All right, and then when we turn it over, I'll show you that in a minute. I've opened up one of the envelope ends, and I'm going to have an envelope, a card booklet, which I'll slot inside of there, and then that will sit on top. And I know that you probably can't see it because it's black on black. All right, so that's there. Now I've opened this envelope up, and I've just slotted this piece of paper in here so that you can see that I can add some pages to that envelope in that folded area. I could slot that in there, fold them that way, so fold it lengthways, and then fold up the bit that's too long instead of cutting it off. And I could add that in as the page, and then I've got a pocket here as well, so that that would then open up and then that will close, and I've got a pocket then on the back. So I could do a couple of pages sort of that length inside the folds of each of the envelopes. But the reason why I'm not showing you too much of how I'm going to decorate this is I will do a video of it later on, but I want you to think of the possibilities of what you can do with this journal. Once you've put it together, then start to examine it and start to look at the possibilities of what you could do. Right, so as I say, I've added this piece as an extra, and I'm going to show you on the back, because this is what you would have, is you would have a pocket like this. Now my A4 paper is obviously too long, so I'm going to trim that down to size. Let's mark that off there. And then, so I can see now that it's the same height as the envelope, but it's too wide. So, just going to finger press that there like that. And then I'm just going to score fold, and then I'm just going to taper these two ends, because then it helps to fit inside the envelope much easier. We'll just test it out. So that will slot inside that pocket there, and then close too. So I want glue on the back side of this. And again, just slot that inside that pocket. And close that too. Which is what I've done on this front piece here. Okay, this is that piece of card. So when I open it up, I've still got a pocket here. Now I ripped this envelope. I'm not worried about that because I'm going to cover this with one of those pages out of that book. But I've got a pocket here that I can still utilise. Okay, so that's the added piece of card. That will open up. That's got that little piece of card inside the envelope pocket. So that opens up. I can add 1 or 2 pages here. I can't add too many extra pages because it won't take the bulk. Okay, and then that will close up. Turn that one over, and these two then open out like so. Turn it over, and then that one opens out like that. Turn it over. I've got the pocket on the back here, and I've now got this card cover on the back as well. Because this is black, the envelopes are black, and the inside of the paper is white, I'm going to have to ink up the edges of the paper here with black soot, just to help them all to blend properly. But that is basically it. 4 large envelopes. And the possibilities are immense, because if you think about, you know, you could add little flips and flaps and tucks and pockets and all sorts. But you do have to bear in mind, as I say, that it's not a journal that can take an awful lot of bulk. But if you like lots of pretty pictures and just want to put pictures in, then you can, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope that inspires you to have a go. Thank you to those who have purchased the digital kits recently. It was really appreciated. It'd be lovely if some more of you went and bought them. And I'll see you all in next week's video, which will actually... No, I'll explain next week. See you later. Bye for now. Bye.